Canon released a new camera, or well, it's not released yet, but they talked about a new camera, which we brought up several times already. Like we brought it up a few weeks ago, and I think we brought it up like sometime in 2021, I believe.
For sure.
The EOS R5C, which is basically a cinema camera version of the R5 to dumb it down.
They're calling it it's like a both. It can do both. Best of both.
Exactly.
It's like a great stills and a cinema camera at the same time.
That's right. Exactly. Oh man, I was looking at the specs today and I was like, dang, it looks good. But also it's beefy because it's got that like thing on the back for active cooling so that it doesn't overheat like the R5 does.
We brought that up.
Did.
Pretty sure.
Yeah, I'm 90% sure.
Yeah.
But so I didn't check what the weight was, but that's like one thing that like I wouldn't love. However, if you're buying a cinema camera, I'm pretty sure that's still smaller than most cinema cameras.
Yeah. I have the specs pulled up. I just don't know where the weight is. Exposure, shutter, custom picture. Okay, this is a long list.
I wrote down a bunch of stuff, but I actually forgot to check the weight, so I don't have that written down.
Physical. Oh, weight. The body only is approximately 680 grams. Let me see if I can find the R5.
I was going to say,
I have like the R5C, R5, and the Sony Alpha 1 pulled up for the specs so we can compare. Beauty. Okay, it was at the bottom, so I'll just go all the way. Dimensions and weight. Weight. 1.63 pounds. 738, including battery.
The R5?
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense.
That's more.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
It might be about the same, because this one's with battery, and the R5C is body only. Weight accessories.
That's weird. I didn't expect it to be that close.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, it was right under it. It's with accessories, battery, CF Express card, and an SD card, all three of them in the body. It's 770 grams.
Okay, so they're like the same, pretty much.
Slightly more.
Yeah. Dang. Okay, so weight is actually not that big of an issue. Just it's a bit bigger in size, but it's not like it's like a make or break type thing. Like it's just,
I don't think so.
Yeah, no. It'll still fit in your like, even if you got like a tiny camera bag and one lens or something.
Full specs. Oh, the weight was there, I think. Was it? iOS sensitive battery life, viewfinder monitor. No. All right, full specs. Let me see. Size and weight. 737 grams with battery and memory card included. So that compares... They're all about the same.
Yeah, I don't think you'll notice that the tiny difference between them if you were to hold all three of them.
Yeah, it's barely... The R5C is just slightly more heavy, so you're good with going with that.
Sweet. One thing that's pretty cool, there's a lot of things cool about this camera, but like it can do some stuff that the R5 can't in terms of video.
Yes.
It's able to shoot 8K 60 frames per second in 12-bit RAW. Using the entire width of the sensor. And the R5 can only do 8K 30p RAW, which is definitely a difference. I mean, it's the difference between slow-mo and no slow-mo. So
yeah. And the big difference is if that active cooling stuff actually works.
Yes, because it does say that with that it can shoot 8K 60 RAW indefinitely, while the R5 can only do 20 minutes 8K 30.
That is insane. If that active cooling works like it's supposed to,
that'll be a huge difference.
That is a massive difference. That's really good.
Yeah.
I don't even know if the Sony can do that, honestly.
I'm not sure. I didn't check the specs on the Sony. But a couple other things. It can handle RAW 5.9K, 60p with a super 35 millimeter crop, 2.9K 120 frames with a super 16 crop, and 4K at up to 120 frames with no crop and full autofocus capability.
Yeah. Okay, I don't have recording times on the Sony.
I haven't heard about the Sony's like overheating, but I haven't looked into them as much, so I could be like just dumb. It's very possible.
Yeah.
What was I gonna say? Well, let's see what else it can do. It supports ProRes RAW.
Yes.
Output to an external recorder at least, through the HDMI port at up to 8K 30p. And you can shoot proxy data simultaneously to an SD card in the camera to, speed up your post-production, because then you don't have to take the time to make proxies, which if you guys don't know what those are, it's basically just a lower quality version of your footage so that you can use that when editing instead of the full quality so that it goes faster, basically. I think I explained that fairly well.
How much was... how many photos can it take per second?
I'm pretty sure it was the same thing. It was 20. With the mechanical shutter, it was 12, and with the electronic, it's 20, right. And I believe that's what the R5 was as well.
The Sony can beat that. It can do 30.
That's what the R3 does as well, I think, right? Yeah. That's so crazy. Even 20 is crazy. This that's just insane.
What else is different with the R5C?
Also, I think this isn't different, but it uses micro HDMI. I forgot to mention that rather than full sized.
Oh, that's
which I think most cameras do. Not cinema cameras. Most cinema cameras have an HDMI, but most like DSLRs will just have the micro, I believe. Yeah. I'm pretty sure.
So, looking at the Alpha one, the Sony, this thing is $8,500, and the R5 was how much? Like $5,000?
I think.
Yeah, $5,400.
Yeah. These are Canadian prices, right? Something like that. Yeah.
Yes, in Canadian. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I don't think we don't have a necessary price yet.
I saw something
for
talking about a price, actually. The article I read.
Yeah.
And it said,
I saw some articles mentioning one,
but it was in US. It said 4,500.
Yeah. So, I mean, if we kind of take that price, it's gonna be not that much more than the R5.
No. I think
I'm gonna guess like 6,000.
I think it's like 500 more, roughly. Or I think it said 500 more US in the article I was reading, so it'll be a bit more. But it's not a huge difference.
So that sounds about $6,000. Yeah. Now, if you compare it to the Alpha One, like Sony's #1 camera, I mean, it's almost the same. The Sony has a bit of a bigger resolution. It's at 50 megapixels.
I was about to ask that.
Instead of 47 on the R5. Both of the R5C and the R5 have the same sensor. But it can also record 8K.
Yeah.
And I think the Canon does it a little better.
I'm not sure. I haven't looked at enough Sony footage to compare it. But I mean, for the price,
but like just difference, the fact that you can do log and raw recording on that R5C. And for a cheaper price.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah,
one thing actually, though, that it doesn't have, that the R5 does, is in-body stabilization.
That's right.
So any of your optical shake reduction for stills or video will only be available if it's like supported by the lens. But I also was reading that the lens stabilization can work together with Canon's electronic stabilization with a 1.1 image crop.
Yeah.
Which I'm not sure how well the electronic stabilization works, but it's not bad. But I mean, obviously it would be nicer to have the in-body stabilization. But again, I don't know if that's like a make or break thing.
Yeah. But I mean, overall, strong camera.
It is.
Really.
Yeah.
It's a powerful message to the market, I think.
Yeah. It's like basically it's just an upgraded version of the R5 pretty much without the in-body stabilization. That's about it.
Yeah.
I mean, there was one other limitation, which was with those batteries that they use. It's the same one as the R5, which is the LPE6NH battery.
Yeah.
It doesn't provide enough power to operate the lens mount in certain video modes, like the 8K and 5.9K above 30p and 2.9K Super 16 above 60 frames per second, meaning you lose autofocus at those settings on battery power only, although you're able to power it by using an external power from Canon's PDE-1 USB power supply.
Oh.
So that's also another like little inconvenient thing.
Yeah, that is definitely something to look at.
Yeah.
I'm going to guess that with the next version or whatever camera comes out next in line with the cinema line, if they do more C, like if we see an R3C,
Right.
I feel like they're going to give it a new battery.
Probably. Yeah.
Because, I mean, that would, just be completely unacceptable on their highest end camera. If we see an R3C, it can't come with like an external power supply. That's, to me, that's unacceptable.
I think to be fair though, because it's a hybrid, they don't because it's for both and not just for the for video. I think that's why. And also I feel like oftentimes when you're shooting higher end videos, they'll usually pull focus themselves manually. Like I know they do that in movies. That's like a whole job. You can be the focus puller, right? So I think that's probably why Canon's just because it's, I mean, again, how often are you shooting in all of those modes? And you how much are you going to rely on the autofocus when shooting in those modes? It's hard to tell.
That's true.
It really depends what you're doing. If you shoot a lot of 8K and rely on autofocus, then it definitely sucks a bit, but yeah.
So I mean, I guess we'll see how it goes. You know, comparing it back to the R5 and the Sony.
Yeah.
It's definitely a good upgrade, and probably you might save a little bit of money going with the R5C. But again, keep in mind a little bit of a smaller sensor, less resolution.
I mean, still a massive sensor, to be fair. Like it's still huge.
Still massive. Yeah.
Compared to most other cameras, it's like bigger, twice the size of some. Like the R6 is like 20, I think. So it's more than double. But yes, just to put it into perspective.
Yeah, so definitely do some of your own research if you're into some 8K cameras.
Yes, do that.
There's more and more coming out. So yeah, do some research yourself as well.
Oh, sorry. Also, one more thing quickly. I also mentioned it has animal eye detection, which I believe the R5 has, and vehicle detection, which I don't think the R5
Yes.
had. R3 was supposed to have. I'm pretty sure
R3 definitely has
R5
that.
doesn't, though. Not 100% sure on that one, but
It's probably just a software
I was
update.
going to say that too, yeah.
I wonder if the R5 is going to get that eventually.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we said that in our R3
we
video.
may have. I think we probably did. I think that's about it. I mean, it's the same thing. CF Express card and an SD card slot. Yeah, okay. I think we covered everything now. I just wanted to make sure we're not missing anything. Yeah. So it's a pretty cool camera, looks like.
Yeah.
And I'm very excited to see it.
Oh, me too.
I want to feel it. That sounds weird. Canon, feel free to send us one.
Send this one over.
Yeah.
Along with the others, as we said, we're still waiting. We understand there's backlogs in the shipping, like
we can wait. It's fine. We'd love to,
Yeah. One day.
Yeah.